5? Yeah. It is extremely early. It is 4:53 a.m. Hmm? There's a couple of videos. Okay. Don't blink, it's your blink. Welcome to the Computer Show. I'm just doing well because I'm having a wonderful day. On this 21st June 2025, I was supposed to go out to a very specific place, which was nice for a landscape, right? And I saw the nature corn and outside my balcony, which is insane. It's beautiful. So I'm gonna do something new, which is a sort of a challenge, which can be easy, and it's kind of checking out how much I can bullshit you guys until we get the event. Now, I know what you're asking. Ink, what is the event, right? Well, the event's actually pretty simple. Besides, I can go out tomorrow. Tomorrow. Love that word, tomorrow. Today is Saturday, by the way. So that's kind of cool. I'll get my answer for the job either tomorrow or the day before, the day after, the day before. We woke up about 20 minutes ago, 25 minutes ago, right? So if I look like shit, I can blame being tired. And if I look amazing, I say, oh, I woke up like this, you know? So, I don't know if you guys notice, right? I'm feeling the wrong side. There's a very small dot here, right? You see it? You see this dot here? Or, you're seeing... I don't see it. Are you... Give me a sec, guys. We need to do this. Oh, you can see. You can basically see it here. Yeah. The sunshine, the moon here. Now, this event is going to be one for the ages. So I want you guys to focus on this dot, right? So now, what we have that is absolutely, and I do mean absolutely phenomenal, is that we have the moon. Right now it's 4:55 a.m. By the way. So right now what we have is the moon here and the sunshine here, right? Now ultimately speaking, usually the moon will have 12 hours. Well, not 12 hours to do a half of the Earth. Now for some reason tonight it didn't do it. So this is gonna be cool because we're gonna be able to see both the moon and the sun and one clear picture, which I fuck with. So I woke up. I was supposed to go to a special place. We're gonna be the subject of this video, by the way. I was like, no, I have to stay here. If I get the view, it's all gonna be worth it, right? So now we have a challenge, and usually I don't like doing challenge, especially not the first time in the morning. But now I'm gonna do a challenge. And that challenge is gonna be how long I can bullshit you into getting. So in a perfect world, I'm going to the place I want to go today, except if it's too late, because late mean cars and car means go-ish. However, it's Saturday, so the usual casual traffic of the working man. The working is the working man I am, and I'm digging underground. My quench, pink lemonade quench, delicioso. Um, Last time I went out and there was light, or last time I went out and it was the normal hours, I got stopped by the police twice. Now, I don't want to happen again. I bullshit my way once. I don't know if I can bullshit my way twice, or 3 times, or 4 times, or 5th time. By the way, we're gonna be eating because we already ate my delicious and simple. So, 2 pieces of fried bread with sausage, breakfast sausage. Bon appetit. No, I know what you're saying. Ink. Can you just put the camera, bro? Get some sleep? Man, I have to stop waking up early for you. Like, that's quite nice. If there's a temptation to sleep, simple enough. Simple enough. Precious spot could be see tomorrow. So I do prefer the cop rule, the golden rule with police or with anybody. We can fuck with a couple people, but not with everybody. Usually when there's a lot of traffic, or even with for example the bus will check your tickets if you paid the tickets. But when it's rush hour, they won't, because they know that you're going to work. That's a good information. Am I saying that you shouldn't pay for your tickets? Nah. I'm never gonna fine, but I thought people get fined. And it's not pretty. It's $100. It's $150 or a lot of cash for a $375 ticket. Huh? Avoid. It's a palm. So the police, they're gonna fuck with a lot of people because we're gonna get mad. Police. However, if you fuck with the police, you get arrested or you get stopped. People would just say, "You gotta stop me," you know. So the place that we're going, again, bullshitting you guys until this and disappear in the same sentence. So this will take me 40 something minutes. Lately I've been filming a lot of nature corn. Consciously. And usually what I do is I leave nature corn and I just go do something else. You know? You would be surprised the number of like a 5 minutes thing is insane. I mean the difference, you know? Exactly. I would make myself another. It's so fucking good. I'm gonna talk to you guys a little bit before. So, the spot that I was supposed to go this morning is kind of talking about, well, on the, a long time ago, 2 weeks ago, I made a video about landscapes and saying, well, you know, if nature corn is not a thing, landscape would be a thing, right? Ergo, this is interesting. Ergo, this morning I was supposed to go out because there's not a single cloud, which means that you'll get the same sunrise as a month ago, as 2 months ago, as 3 months ago. It's gonna be the same, exact same sunrise, which doesn't matter because you're still grateful that the sun is shining and you still grateful that you're awake when the sun goes up, because that means that somehow you made another night, right? When I was depressed, I was 20 years old, 22 years old. Every single day, I used to be up at night. I used to be up at night and gaming and going out for Wi-Fi, you know. And seeing the sunrise was the smallest joy in my life because it somehow meant that I was okay. My father used to work at 5:30. I would wake up at 5 to go and breakfast with him. Well, at home, but still, let's watch the sunrise together. Sunrise has always been something important in my life, so, you know, I'm grateful for this, no matter how boring this is. But then last week I was like, you know what, fuck it, it's something that's interesting to me. It can be a bit boring for you guys, right? Because all I have to do, if I was crazy, all I'd have to do is keep the footage, right? Keep the footage, film a month of sunrise, film a month, yeah, a month of sunrise would be good.
and then replay that shit. Change the date, right? Change the audio. That's pretty much it. That's pretty much it. And you would get a month, you would get a year of sunrise for a couple of months, for a month, right? And then because I'm not an asshole, I would give you every single year a month of new sunrise, but it still would be the same shit every single time, right? Could do that. However, I was like, nah, no, don't do it. Even though the thought was very tempting, you know, because then I'm gonna be starting to work. If I start work, I start on Tuesday, and I start at 6:45, which is in about an hour 45. I like waking up a little bit before work. That way, I get to do my shit. I get to film a couple of videos, which is nice. Because the worst thing, the worst thing you guys think the worst thing is not having any concept for videos. You're right, but the worst thing isn't that. The worst thing is having your storage full. So you see something like this, a very special event, and you're like, holy shit, I gotta film it, right? And then even when you post, it takes 20 minutes, 30 minutes for a video, and then you switch to the next videos, and then you have a lot of space, so you do 2 videos, right? And then you're uploading your whole thing, but you realize that your day's done, you know? So I decided to do some landscape, right? And landscape were nice because the first one we have was the Lachine Lighthouse. The second one we have was the Clock Tower of Lachine, or a very nice little dock. Not the dock, the animal, a dock, D-O-C-K, which is close to Dick, D-I-C-K. But if you think about Dick, when I say dock, you're a bit of a perv, right? Cool. And then today was a parking lot. So I know what you're saying, Ink. What the fuck are you doing in a parking lot? That's not a landscape. But then the landscape in itself is just how it makes you feel, right? You're gonna go to a store, a restaurant, right, called Chez Benoit. And Chez Benoit has, if they're lucky, they have 25, 30 customer a day, and 12 of them are the same people. They're the same people. They're coming day in, day out. Right? Every single week they go. So you can tell, well, Chez Benoit is not doing well financially, right? But it's still something. You still have memories there. So restaurant becomes a landscape, even though it's not a landscape, it becomes one because of the emotional feelings towards it. Do I have any emotional feelings toward the clock tower of Lachine? No. But it's part of Lachine. Do I have emotional feeling thanks to the lighthouse? Yes. The lighthouse was a safe haven. I could come. I was such a gamer when I was younger. I would have my Game Boy Color, and I would pretend like I'm leaving. Oh my god! I told the story before. My father was like, "Hey, you're playing game too much." My mom, she was cool. She didn't care. She's like, "Hey, this is how you want to spend your day. Spend your day the way you want. Like as long as you're happy. I don't care." Which was fantastic. Give your children the choice. Give them the choice, and then don't choose. And if they make a good choice, then it's a good kid. If they make a bad choice, then somehow along the way, they got corrupted by something, you know? And it's up to you to fix it, right? And it's kind of like a trap. Like you tell your kid, hey, it's a beautiful day outside. Do you want to go out? Do you want to stay in and play games? The kid says, I want to stay in and play games. Okay, cool. So the next day, it's a beautiful day. And you tell your kid, hey, it's a beautiful day outside. You want to go out or want to stay playing games? You want to stay playing games, and then you have to realize that is it a social thing? Is it because he likes playing game? Is it because he doesn't like going out? Is it because something happened when he went out? You have to correct that behavior. Like for example, turn off the Wi-Fi. I'm like, I'm so sorry, the Wi-Fi is not working. I have a problem too. But it's a beautiful day out. You want to go out and get some ice cream or get some? Bribe the kid. Fucking bribe the kid. Teach them how it's nice. My parents used to take me to Dairy Queen, which is about 20 minutes walk. Marche is in French. And I was like, oh, I'm fucking down for ice cream, right? Again, little kid, I didn't have sugar. But I had to go to outlet to walk, right? So, bribery. And it worked. It worked. I was happy to go out. But then when I started going out, I was expecting ice cream, but that's not good. So, the lighthouse was also a place. I used to go out and hide in McDonald's playing the video games that they had in, you know. And then I used to go to the lakeshore, have a hiding place and play Game Boy Color, right? It was crazy. That was cool. It was really cool. Back in the days, I was only playing emulators, so you didn't need Wi-Fi. So I still had my phone. And I was like, okay, I would like go out 3 hours. I was like, oh my god, what a nice day outside, you know. And then something happened where it was raining, and I stayed out. And my father was like, "What the fuck happened? You didn't see the rain? Where were you?" You know, I got in trouble. So why is the landscape? So why? So the landscape today is a parking lot. So why is that important to me? Well, we're talking about emotional. We're talking about emotional like importance to you. Like emotional attachment is a better word for it. So this parking lot is a parking lot we filmed a lot at, which is crazy when you think about parking lot. It is Les Galeries d'Orval, which is a place that was super important to me. And I did a whole video about it, like a 40 minutes video. I could do another one because I need to get some time so we can have this event going on, but I'm not gonna. But shortly, very recap wise, the Galerie d'Orval had Wi-Fi. I didn't have Wi-Fi. I needed Wi-Fi. So what I would do, I would go every single 2 days, except for the weekend. The weekend I would go because there was too many people, and I would download. I would come. Oh, this was crazy. I would come and I had my battery pack with me. I would come at 10 a.m. and I would leave at 5:30 p.m. because I didn't want to get the traffic. Yeah, it was insane. Or I would go to work and I would go to work and I would finish at 3:30 and I would go there and it was 4:15, right? And I would stay until it closed, which is 10 o'clock, which is insanity, insanity. Right? When you think about it, this is crazy, but I would do it because I kind of wanted, kind of loved it, you know, because I needed Wi-Fi. Also, it gave me social when I needed social. See, I was listening to radio a lot, which was a radio of opinion, right? But then there's time where I didn't. For example, one day, I heard that they talk about endings. I would go out and would have a social interaction, and social interaction was just being surrounded with people. You know, you don't understand how healthy being depressed and being in a room full of people is. It's curing because you're like, I'm not alone in the world. My problem isn't the nostril of the universe. It isn't the being that is the most important in the universe, you know? So I was like, okay, fuck it, right? So then I was serving that purpose too. And lastly, I had gained a lot of weight and I was ashamed of myself. I did like the way I looked a lot. But also I was getting a lot of tattoos. And I was like, okay, well, the premise of the tattoos, the concept of the tattoos was for people to see me. And when you're depressed, you become paranoid. So you go out and you think that people are actually looking at you and like, yo, this guy is depressed and there's something wrong with this guy. No, they don't give a fuck about you. It's your perception, you know? So it's like, well, I'm surrounded with people, but I'm still anonymous. Nobody knows who I am. And plus, this is only this town next to me. It's not that far, you know? Nobody knows who I am. That's kind of cool. And yeah, that was the shit. That was the shit. How did I know about this place? Well, I used to work at IGA, which was right next to it. In IGA, they didn't have Wi-Fi, so I would come in earlier to play, to go to Walmart to get. This is kind of crazy. I was doing a, but this is kind of crazy in a good way. This was 2010, 11, so they just had released the PS4, and they would sell used PS3 games or PS3 games for $10, old games. And I was like, holy shit, this is a deal. So what I would do is I would go out. When I had my depression, when I was 22 years old, I used to go to Walmart. And this was a crazy story. All I did with my day is play video games. So this was and for some reason, this period of time, I used to play like small games. For example, one of those games was Attack on Titan. It took me a day to finish. Another one of those games was Batman Beyond, the Telltale, which you can only play one episode until you download the others. Like, what the fuck? I didn't have Wi-Fi, so I only played the first episode. It took me 2 hours. You know? So I would go out and just buy a DVD and buy some junk food and then go back home. She would do at home. Like, this is the parking lot. And then the parking lot is representative of all of these, like Safe Haven. All of these things that I needed at a place. Imagine you have four needs, and this place is taking care of everything. You can have a strip club. That's also a social. You get some free food in the form of peanuts, and you get to see tits. If you were looking for tits, you can see tits. So this is like, holy shit, this is a safe haven, right? But then if you get recognized, you're like, oh, this guy's hanging around those places, right? And who's gonna give a shit if you're in a parking lot of a or in a shopping center, right? That was nuts, bro. That was really nuts. And I had this. Oh my god, it was one of the worst stories of my life. I had this. This is a really big heartbreak. It's a really big heartbreak. Is it still there? Yes, it's still there. The big heartbreak was I was there for every single, well, not every single day, but 4 or 5 times a week for like a year. And I had this maid, well, not maid, but she was a janitor there, and she was always like asking for food because I was eating some good food, pistachio. She would take some. I would have some candy. She would take some. And then one day, I was like, "I'm so sorry. I brought her lunch today." And she's like, "I'm cleaning your table, and I got nothing." I'm like, "What the fuck?" You know. It was nuts. It was odd. It was weird. And then that's not the worst thing. The worst thing was 2019. I was working at PCT, right? And the boys were talking about how you gained some weight, Steph. You're fat. Um, they used to call me. They used to call me Porco Glass. Porco Glass is fat pig. Like, what the fuck? You know? But then they didn't say it in French. And first of all, they didn't say it in French. Second of all, they thought I didn't understand. So the goal was not to insult me. If they wanted to insult me, they would have talked to me in a way that they understand. This is something that you don't understand. And there's a person, right, insulting you. And they know that you speak French or you speak English and they speak in Spanish or Romanian, right? I love that part is that they're cowards, but there's also a bunch of people that are not trying to hurt you, and they have this opinion about you, but they don't want to hurt you, so they say it in a language that you don't understand. For example, you have a girlfriend, and she's bringing, and she's my girlfriend. Let's say I have a girlfriend. She's gorgeous, by the way. Thanks for asking. And I have a gorgeous girlfriend, right? Girlfriend. And I bring it to my parents, right? Especially my father. And my father was speaking French. He's gonna talk shit about her in French. He's not trying to be a dick to her. It's just that's his nature. And it's like, okay, well, she doesn't understand me, so let's fucking get her. You know, which is it correct? Is it something that you should do? Should you be allowed to do whatever the fuck you want? Sure. You know? And to me, that was beautiful because it's like, you don't know that I understand. All I had to say, the test would have been, I understand what you mean, and then see it again, you know. So I was trying to lose weight, and it was crazy. It was really nice though. It was really nice. The boys, they said, "Oh, you're losing a lot of weight." George was so George is complicated. George was a bodybuilder in Romania. Well, he did some bodybuilding competition, and then well, he came here. He had the kids, but he got injured. So when I started lifting weight, he was like, "Yo, let's do this exercise and do this and do this and do this." And he was always asking me about my PR and if I improved the weight I had. And I'm working out at home, bro. There's not a lot of weights. But then he would like, "Oh, did you do it? What set did you do? Did you try these exercise?" And he was kind of living vicariously towards me, kind of living in like a way of, I cannot work out because I'm older, but you can, so I'll make you work out, and I'll kind of imagine this myself. Like, for example, and this is crazy. So Nico Cado, which is a YouTuber. I don't need to tell you who Nico Cado is. See, this the craziest thing. We're 20 minutes in, and the sun is not up. I woke up because I wanted to go to the place, and because I wanted to go to the place, I was hoping. I was hoping to get some, you know. But then I have to wait. So every single Friday I would do a cheat day, and I would go out, and that was the craziest thing. I would go to Walmart, buy 2 liters of soda and 1 bag of chips. That was my party. And yeah. at that time I had a good life. You know, I was working well. I was making money, and over fists. And I was like, holy shit, dude. I had one weekend, and I don't know why I didn't go to Lachine. Right? Well, if you look at the Lachine, it's pretty sad. There's no like restoration area. There used to be one, but they replaced it for a Little Quebec, which is a governmental gambling den. I can get in for slander for that, for saying that's a government gambling den, but it's a gambling den and it's operated by the government. See, Little Quebec is what? Little Quebec is very special. Where's the moon? Where's the moon? Where's the beach? I don't know. The government, what they would do is they said, well, guess what? The gambling has got out of control. We don't have control over this. This is not normal. We want to fix things. So their way of fixing things was to create their own gambling thing. Only in Quebec. And then let me ask you something. Is there a lottery system in USA? Yes. Is it gambling? It's the same place in every single country, you know. Well, as far as I know. I don't know. Maybe. So, yeah. And explain, and I was feeling lonely. Because and when I would go there, I was feeling lonely, right? Because I was depressed. So the first thing I did when I would get depressed, I kicked my mother out. I kicked her out of my life because my mom was a really good person, but she's insistent. I don't like insistent people. I don't like because, for example, right? If I say no, it's no. You don't have to insist. If I say I don't want to talk about something, I don't want to talk about it. You know, even though you insist, you're an asshole because you insisted. You know, so I don't like insistent people. My mom, she did nothing wrong. She was like, "Hey, are you okay?" And I would tell her yes because I'd rather say yes than no because she would be worried if I say no, right? And I was like, and she was like, "Oh, are you really okay? Are you lying to me?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'm lying to you, but you're not supposed to ask." And then she would call me almost every day to say, "Are you okay? Are you okay? Are you okay?" You know, and she was worried, which is normal. So out of my life. The second thing was my father. My father, I was unstable, and he asked me. Oh. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a landing. So how do I know? There you go. So there you go. No. You don't see the moon, but it's really close. And you don't see the sun, but it's really close, and you see the moon. I don't think I'm gonna be able to get. The plan was to get them in both. Okay, so the truth, I was waking up. I wasn't thinking straight. My plan was to get the sun here. Little Quench, a sponsor, not a sponsor. Could be a sponsor, but not a sponsor. Different, but the same, but still the same. Skylar, I don't know, I remember his name is interview. The moon and the sun. And then I would have a nice picture with the both of them. I think this was folly. A folly of the wise. Jim Leahy is ignorance is bliss when it's folly to be wise. Ignorance is bliss when it is folly to be wise. Incredible. But yes, that's what the parking lot meant to me. A place of anonymity, place of. Oh yeah, I was saying, my daddy was asking me to be stable. And he was like, "Why are you complaining?" My father was like, "This is not the one that you're not feeling well, you know." And then he changed. I had another depression, and he was understanding. But the first one is like, what are you on about? Stop being emotional. Like, be a man. You know. And then I know the reason as to why. Because when I made content, and he was getting mad about it. He said, "When I have to talk about this, about you making content, it's like talking about what?" He said, "Well, I think that you make too much content." I said, "Did you know?" And I told him, "Did you know that if it wasn't for the content, I would have committed suicide?" Yeah, I would have. The content saved me. And then he's okay with filming content. It's like, "Oh, you want to go some places to film content?" I'm like, "Actually, yeah." And no, I didn't ask, but you know, the offer was still there. So I kicked him out of my life also. And that was bad. It was bad. It was really bad. It was really really bad. So then, what happened is I didn't have anybody to talk to. I had a couple of friends, but those friends were, it was complex. I had a couple of friends. Those were friends. I had two friends actually, Valérie et Céline. Yeah, they were both people I met on Badu. So when you go on Badu, you're trying to fuck. It's good talk about emotion. But when did I wanted to fuck? Because imagine that you cannot get fucked because you have emotion. That's on you, dude. That's on you. You know. So yes, that was a problem. Um, so going to the parking lot, and it's crazy, 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 crazy because it was at a time where that was insane. It was insane. Um, I haven't went to the parking lot. I went in 2024, which was last year. But the last time that I went was before the pandemic. So during the pandemic, I got Wi-Fi. So the need for go there was lesser. Which was 2020. I haven't went there in 4 years. And then in 2024, which was last year, we're making so much content. We were making content over every hill. You want content, you get content. You get a lot of content. You get content after content after content after content after content. And so when you're done with that content, you get more content. You know what I mean? So yeah, and I went to get the content, and at night I was doing night stroll, and with a night stroll I was like, where should I go? You don't really see like a nice nature corner like this, and I went to the parking lot, and I was like, I haven't been there in a while, and the feeling of comfort, the feeling of familiarity in a parking lot, it's crazy, it's insane, it's insane. And this is nuts because I have a lot of good time on the parking lot. My first kiss was a NW parking lot where I used to work. I'm celebrating my first like heroic action. I was in the parking lot. My boys was sick, and they were puking, and people were taking pictures of my. Not even people, his friend were taking pictures of him, and I went in front of the camera. I was like, "You're not gonna take a picture of my boy. Fuck that." And the worst thing is, he was drunk as fuck. I have to pick him up and I have to put him to bed, right? And take off his socks and his. To me, was extremely gay. But then you take care of your boys when he's sick. That's normal, you know. It's like, I don't want to touch you, dude. Go to bed. But no, you're drunk, so I'm gonna take off your socks and you know, I'm gonna put the cover on you and give you a kiss on the forehead. Good night. And then you wonder why I thought it was gay. Found it beautiful. Birds. Beautiful. Yeah. The parking lot too. The parking lot for Gilles Lafrite. That night was awesome. That night was awesome because my boy, he was puking in the parking lot. And then the store manager was like, the store manager was like, stop puking in my parking lot. I'm like, what am I supposed to do, dude? Go in the streets. It's just crazy. So then, yeah, so this place, and to me, that was comfort. And the most fucked up ways, this place was because, I don't actually see the moon anymore. This is actually the perfect time because at 6 o'clock, which is about, at 6:30, in about an hour, it's gonna be too hot to film, which is gonna be a nightmare. So, I think we're doing it right now with kind of perfect. We've been on for 24 minutes, about 52% of batteries. I woke up, it was at 70, so we have like an hour left, which is great. This parking lot, in a very weird way, was akin to a real person. And I know what you're saying, this is insane, but it's not. If a place can bring you this much joy, if a place can bring you this much fulfillment, right? The place can bring you this much fulfillment, then it solves everything. It solves every single problem. Do you know the worth of how was your day? You know? There's no amount of word for that, right? I had a thing with a girl about 2 months ago, and then she got a boyfriend. But the fact is, that was really something endearing, right? And then she got a boyfriend. I was like, what the fuck? What did you do? I was like, no, you did something. You weren't man enough to say, hey, I like you. Let's go out, you know. That's on you. That's your mistake. You know? Shit, my phone batteries is. My phone batteries is. Yeah. Almost out. I'm gonna have to end this video soon. That was not the plan. I thought I had a lot of time for the batteries. Like, oh man. I put them in the garbage, but I didn't put trash. I did 3 times this. I did that 3 times lately. Put it in the garbage. Well, I can do it quick. This is where I came from. You had enough to do. They say me and all my friends. Whoa, 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 this is where I came from. Right back at it again. Whoa, 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 this is where I came from. Whoa, 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 this is where I came from. Right back at it again. Whoa, this is where I came from. Well, don't blink is wing. Part 2 of trying to get some time until we can get both the sun and the moon. It's hard to see, but it's there. I was able to delete a bunch of nothing. That way I don't have any space on the phone, but it's uploading. So all I have to do is wait. The more I'm on here, the more it's uploading. We're gonna have collision. We're gonna have collision where I'm filming enough for me to have no more space. Time will tell. So it's like a person, right? And it's a person, and I know this is a weird thing to say, but if a place can bring you this much joy, what kind of person can't, right? And again, like I was saying, the value of, hey, how was your day? Hey, hi, how are ya? There's no value for that, right? Or just being with someone and they're your whole world. You don't need friends, you don't need family. Well, you do need those things, of course, but yeah, there's one person where you can go back home to and you're like, holy shit, this is quality lifestyle, you know? And it's just a blessing, it's just so nice. And it's just so nice. And you don't really think about it until it happens, you know? But then, in lieu of this person, of this perfect person, because in your life there'll be very few perfect person. There'll be a bunch of shitty person, but not a lot of good person. So in lieu of having a person, you have this place. And then this place in itself is a crutch. Because just like the apartment, and this is nuts to think about. This is nuts because this is psychological. So this place brings me comfort. So I have this almost needs to go there. I have this craving to go there. Why aren't we going there? I like going there. Well, because we've been going there for the last 12 years. Let's try something new. The apartment, if it wasn't so comfortable, I would not have stayed here for so long. I would have got to experience more of life, you know. If I got to experience more of life, would I be single? Would I be in a position where, oh my god, I have missed out on life, you know? But it's not because life is so well made. The reason I'm able to do these many videos, the reason I'm able to just talk and talk and talk, because we live so little. So again, just like other people, I live vicariously through videos. They are an excuse of, they're an excuse for discovering the world. They're an excuse for trying something new. They're an excuse for talking, you know. Imagine, okay, we've been going on for about 40 minutes, right? Imagine if I didn't have that 4 minutes to talk. Did I really need it? No, you know. It's not. It's all confirm. It's all being comfortable. Comfortable being laziness. Why do I need to talk to people when I can talk to you guys? Because it's healthy to talk to people. As simple as that, right? Why do I need to go out when the landscape, when the nature corner is beautiful? Well, because it's healthier. You know. But then at the same time, yes, you live more true life through going out and shit like that, right? But at the same time, if you're comfortable, this is a good thing. Would you rather be? I use these a lot lately. Would you rather be sad and poor, sad and rich, and then happy and poor? Would you rather be fulfilled but somewhere not safe than somewhere safe but not fulfilled? You know. When I used to have my neighbors, they used to scream. By the way, we have an update out of that, and that update is kind of crazy. If you don't mind me saying so, that update is that they were screaming at each other yesterday. So like they're still screaming, and you can hear them laugh right now, which is 5:30 a.m. You guys are up early, guys. Um, what is a behavior? What is a normal behavior to get? So, for example, somebody that's prone to violence, somebody that's prone to aggressivity, when you see them violent and aggressive, it's not for you cannot forgive that, but it's part of their personality, you know. And lately, I've been done with bullshit. I've been having a lot of people in my life that I'm like, do I really need you in my life or not? Some of those people, it's hard to shake off though. Like they're friends for a while, and then you're like, oh, dude, I don't like this relationship anymore. I don't like this friendship anymore. You know. Yeah, but it was so fucking close. The next balcony. It was beautiful. I don't know. Like I'm saying, like this person, and then it's such a crazy feeling. Imagine this person represented your peace, represented your universe, represented so much for you, and you lose that person, right? And you lose that person, and like holy shit, right? This was my entire being. But for example, with the parking lot, I lost the parking lot. So I'm like, this meant so much to me. What did I mean for the companies? What do I mean for the industries there? Did I mean something? Did I mean nothing? I don't know. And the craziest thing here is we're talking about a location or a landmark as a human being, as a person capable of feelings, right? But then it's not about the feeling. It's material. It's not living. There's no souls. There's no right. Look at this moon and sun. It's gorgeous. Yeah, you think about it. But it somehow works. You're at 62%, you're at 43%. You know? Um, But then when you leave a place, it's bad. My mom, when she left her work, it took like a year and nobody would know her. My father, my father had a hard time leaving work. He would go there and say, I'm bored. He's gonna get mad at me for saying this, but fuck him. He's not gonna watch this. He would come to work to eat with the boys because he was feeling lonely. After his retirement. Yeah. Did my mom leaving the place change things? No. Did my father leaving the place change things? No. The impact that the impact that their departure had versus the way they feel versus the departure is very different. Emotional attachment. But this is pattern behavior. This is learned behavior. So you take this very young kid, right? And they're having nightmare. And this is kind of crazy. This is really nuts. So a baby will need to will be his parents all the time, right? So when it comes to sleeping, they will be with his parents all the time. And that's why young kids, they go to their parents' bed. And then, when they go to the parents' bed, it's like, oh, you're a bit too old for that, right? So what they do to get rid of the kid, I said what I said. They buy a plushie. And the plushie is going to be you're not alone, you have this plushie, right? And this plushie in itself is a emotional evolution. I used to love my parents because of my whole world. Now I love this plushie. So my world is getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And then you get more plushies. And I'm like, oh, well, I like sleeping with this one. And I like talking with this one. You know? That plushie is a way to not feel alone, first of all. But also a way to express love. Because you have love to give and you like the world, right? Now, technically speaking, the plushie will not give you back the love. The fact that you're able to love the plushie, the fact that you're able to communicate love, the fact that you're able to have this over emotion or this powerful emotion, and like, you know what? I'm gonna tell my plushie that I love him, right? You know? Why do you think that babies love dogs? Because dogs are just big ball of love, right? Big ball of love. You know? But do you think that dog like babies because they're a big ball of love? You know what's insane? A puppy will become a full-fledged adult in like 2 years, right? A human being will become a small children in 7. So the dog don't see it as growing slowly. That is so weird. And yeah, fun fact is my father heard them laugh and insult me. Like, tell me their name, I want to go get them. Like, you're crazy, Dad. And I was like, oh, just lock the door. Lock the door, Steph. She's like, I love my mom. She's the sweetest. She's a sweet woman. She called me yesterday. And it was like very early for her. For me, it's not early because, you know, I'm crazy. But she called me very early for her, and she was still sleeping, still sleepy. And she's like, "Hey, are you okay?" I'm like, "Yeah, why?" And then she said, "Did you lock the door?" And I'm like, I felt bad because she was worried, so I told her, which is not true. I told her, "Oh, let me check." And I said, "Oh my God, thanks, Mom. It wasn't locked. Thank God you called." She's like, "Okay." She said, she said, "That's your own mom, though. Don't laugh." She said, "Okay, I did my part." Yes, you did, Mom. You're a hero. So yeah. So whenever I go to this parking lot, there's an emotional attachment, and honestly, what really is going on, and what really you can say like this is the core of it. I got bitten by a mosquito, and it's just is that Lachine is changing a lot. So It's changing a shit ton. It's changing like it's not changing that much, but it hasn't changed in so long, and I was starting to change. So you're like, holy shit, this is changing a lot. No, you're just not used to the change, you know. So I think I'm looking for a familiar spot. Just I'm a guy that don't go out a lot. From the one familiar spot that I have is this Walmart parking lot. I like that you're broken, broken like me. Maybe that makes me a fool. It's just beautiful. Right? But then you have two choices. Either you know that you only have one landscape that won't change. So either you find a new landscape or you attach yourself to the one landscape that you have. And the answer to this question is I don't fucking know. I don't fucking know. I don't know. Is life a perpetual quest of finding a spot which you belong? Is life a perpetual quest of finding second homes? Life is a perpetual quest of social behavior. You want to have new friends, new friends, new friends, new friends. You lose some friends, you get some new ones. But then you think that, well, you know what? It's not true. Because I got a family, I got kids, they'll always be there. Then you would think that the only place that's truly yours is your house, right? Because you get to decorate it. But then you're like, yeah, but this is not a second home, this is my first home. Well, there's two things here. See, I'm talking about a job a lot lately. A job, and I'm talking about it non-stop, right? And the truth behind that job is, when I say it's comfy, when I say I like it, I could see myself living there. Not sleeping there, but living there. I could see myself spending 8 hours a day there. I wouldn't mind. And when you look for a job, you don't think about how comfortable the place is. I did a whole work history yesterday, and talk about a place that was super shitty. Super shitty. They had no employees, and they had baby foot table. People love that, you know. So it's kind of nuts. It's kind of crazy. Maybe life has always been about that. Being comfortable at home, but being comfortable at work. A home, far from home, and a work far from home. A place for yourself, you know. You have a problem with the wife, go to work. Simple. You know? Or maybe your home can become this place where you're comfortable enough. See, my apartment is too small, and you never hear me complain about the size, but it's too small. So why is that a problem? Well, it's only a problem when it's only a problem when it's only a problem when you don't have a office. So every single place in my apartment I've worked at. I filmed the kitchen. I filmed in my bed. I filmed in the salon. I filmed in the balcony. I filmed the parking lot. I haven't filmed the alleys. That's the next step, guys. You know, so there's no differentiation between places to relax and places to work. Right? I don't know. That's why so many men end up in the garage, right? They need a man cave. Because as men, our mental health is your problem, you know? Anyway. This is why a parking lot would have been the perfect landscape. We'll say tomorrow though. Don't worry about it. Did I make enough time? Did I get? There you go. Just barely. Barely, barely, barely. Holy shit. Holy shit. You see the sun? And you see the moon. Took us an hour, but we somehow did it. Am I proud of myself? No. Am I feeling more fulfilled? No. Is it a complete waste of time? Absolutely. Did we chat something new? Absolutely. Who gives a shit? Who gives a shit? Anyway, love you guys. Take it easy. I like that you're broken, broken like me. Baby, that makes me a fool. That's when she said, the night that you're broken, broken like me. Baby, that makes me a fool. Who is this? Sherry. Sherry, baby, you make me feel so alive. I got purpose once again. I want to get this. I want to get this. This is comment that make me laugh. A comment that make me laugh. Where is it? Singing beautifully. And I think it's further in. I think it's further in. I think it's further. I think it's further. I think it's further. Yeah, I got my ass beat, but I got to meet you. Wow. She like that one. Tom Link is your link. Welcome to the show. I'm getting well because I'm having a wonderful day on the 21st June 2025. 3 days away from a cool video that we're gonna do. Today we might go to McDonald's for a chill TikTok live. But also we're kind of busy. We're kind of busy because there's no reason. There's no reason. I'm just happy because we got. Oh, I forgot to do this. I'll do it at the same time. Get it ready? Don't blink, it's your boy. Welcome to the Long Time Show. We got people streaming, we got people laughing. We're doing well because they're having a wonderful day on this 21st June, 5:50 a.m. We have something that's very special, which is the moon and the sun. Very anticlimactic. Gotta say, very anticlimactic. I was expecting a lot more from you guys, but hey, it's okay. It's okay. Today we're doing a video for the gaming channel, so welcome in, gamers. And I thought about my favorite game, play-wise. Talk about my favorite game. Talk about my favorite game play-wise. I talked about my favorite game for the graphics, but I never talked about my favorite game for the soundtrack. Now, this is gonna be 3 categories, right? There's gonna be a song in the game, gonna be a song in the game. There's gonna be the sound the game make, right? And there's gonna be also the I'm tired. It is very early. We woke up at 4:30, so that we've been making contents for an hour and a half, which is pretty good. So the first thing I want to talk about is my favorite all-time game for music. And now it is cheating, because it's also my favorite game for graphics. And it's Ocarina of Time. Ocarina of Time. To me, was the perfect fucking game. Ocarina of Time introduced a bunch of content, but it was also free content, free roam. So you want to ride Epona, you could ride Epona. It was a small map, but you could ride Epona. You could ride it for hours. You could do the all around the long range. It was great. It was fun, you know. Also, with that, if you wanted to play music, Zelda Ocarina of Time did music the right way, not music as in, oh, I found this piano somewhere somehow, right? I found this piano here and there. That wasn't the case. It was more so about, hey, you want to play, okay, now you want to play this song. And it was 12 songs that you could play. And even in the craziest thing that they was, they had mechanical. So, for example, you played Bolero Fire, Minute to the Forest. My favorite was Bolero Fire, though. Well, depends. My favorite song from Zelda is easily Song of Healing. But the Song of Healing is complex because the Song of Healing is also the Song of Saria. And we're gonna get into that later on. It's beautiful maybe those to make, it's a great idea. Um, and I had this idea, not sleeping but waking up, and I was like, oh, that would be a good idea, you know, when you're still too fucked up from sleeping to get any clear idea. So we took care enough time. Yes, there was some mechanics. So if you didn't want to play music, you didn't have to. But what they did that was really, really, really smart and really, really cool is they took the game and they said, you know what? We'll force you to play the music from the game, right? And we'll force you to play it just enough so you kind of fuck with it. At the end, you're like, you know what? This is a good song. I was so happy because we started filming an hour and a half ago. Why is that so happy? Because now the sun is gonna go up and I'm not gonna be able to film for 4 hours, 4 to 5 hours. But then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go to McDonald's. I'm gonna do a TikTok live there. So it's gonna be good. It's gonna be super nice. And that's pretty much it. So, like I was saying, what was I saying? I don't fucking know. Well, I'll have to check the McDonald's menu. It is something special. Because I would like to get something special. Otherwise, what's the point? Okay, so yeah, so the, sorry, I got ADHD, so it's hard for me to focus. It's not a mosquito. So they're forcing you to play the game. And then you like it so much that you like to play. You wouldn't be surprised seeing me play Epona song. Epona song was fantastic, and there was no lyrics. I remember being a very young kid, being bored and singing, do 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 do, da da da, da 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 da, da 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 da, da 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 da. Or the Song of Storm. But it goes crazier. I didn't think about this, but this is insane. Are you guys ready for a surprise? Guys, if you were coming in 10 minutes earlier, there was nothing. Welcome in to my surprise. Ocarina. Yeah, Ocarina of Time. Ocarina of Time. And I can read music too, so this is kind of crazy. Definitely gonna be learning that. Definitely gonna be learning that. I forgot that I had that. Also, got a little surprise for you guys. Imagine having this. This is my first instrument. And this would be so fucking cool. I bought this like 5 years ago because I wanted to learn it. So, the story behind it is actually quite phenomenal. The story behind it was, I was with my friends, and for some reason, I only had I only had the Nintendo 64, and then I had a feeling for, making music. It's funny because then I bought a guitar, and I never started even learning about it. But yeah, so you guys are gonna have to understand that most of my favorite games are gonna be old school game. So yeah, so in Ocarina of Time, they did the mechanics perfectly. Like for example, it was freeform. It was freeform. Open and close. Da-da-da, da-da-da, da-da-da-da-da. 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 It looks a bit complex, right? It looks a bit complex. The Ocarina of Time. I don't know if it's a good one or a bad one. I heard if it's a good one, the sound is good, and if it's a bad one, the sound is not good. So yeah, so that was the first one. The second game, I'm gonna go for original soundtrack. I'm gonna go for the soundtrack of the game. I'm gonna have to go with Pokemon Silver. Pokemon Silver was so good to me, but so important in my culture. It was my favorite game ever. It was the first Pokemon game that I've ever had. To me, Pokemon Silver was the perfect game because Pokemon Silver brought a bunch of mechanics. See, I'm not a musical guy. It is 6 a.m. guys. Look, by the way, so I feel bad for the neighbors downstairs. Not me. I don't care. You know, I'm crazy. Well, I should be feeling bad for them. Although I don't scream. And they're super nice. I've talked about them. It's like, hey, am I being too loud? And it's like, no, I don't even know that you're outside. I think they're both older, so possibly both some hearing problem from a sense. Yeah, so Pokemon Silver. Pokemon Silver to me was the best game ever made. It was my Magnus Opium. It was a game that I fucking adore. The reason for that is actually quite simple. The reason for Pokemon Silver to being so good was, I'll have to call my dad. I have to call my dad because I wanted to have, yeah. I'm gonna have some electric tape. Electric tape, yeah. I'm gonna have to clean this shit up. This is my beloved Game Boy Color. It's been so long since I played it. To me, this beats the Switch. In sheer fun. Yeah, this broke. I want to try something else. I'm sorry, guys. There you go. It's crazy because I put these back on my order, so I had all of these things that I didn't think had any sort of importance, but they do. For example, we just found those batteries. This is Pokemon Yellow, by the way. Holy shit. I have a game of... Look at the graphics, guys. Look at the graphics, how shitty they are. You see? That could be good. That could be a good playthrough. Holy shit. That could absolutely be a good... Oh, the phone is too hot. That could be a great playthrough. To play these games, to film the Game Boy Color. Yeah, that would be a great playthrough. That would be amazing. The Game Boy Color was my favorite console ever. It's just so good. See now, the phone is too hot to film because the sun is coming in. It is 6 o'clock in the morning. What? Oh, okay, never mind. Okay, so now my focus level is 0. So what we usually do is we freeze a piece of cheese that's super cold from the freezer. And yeah, we just do these. So those batteries are super useful. See, that's the thing. That is the thing. I have a lot of stock that I don't use, but if I took the time to check out what I have, I would be using a lot more of the stuff that I have, you know? So, and at the same time, it's kind of crazy. So being said, just my favorite soundtrack is Pokemon Silver. Pokemon Silver, I'm so sorry from the time. I'm so sorry. This is such shitty videos. I'm not gonna blame ADHD, but so it was nuts because it was a perfect game. The graphics were shitty. The music was 8 bits, which a lot of people still fucking adore to this day. But it was the normal content. The amount of content, for example, beating the main game gave you access to Kanto, which was the first game. You didn't have the story, but you still had the game. Secret Boss, Mount Silver, great. The gym badge, the gym leader from the previous game that you had to beat. That was also really good. Also really fucking good. You know? There's just no feelings to it. there's just no other feeling to it, if I say so. This is just fucking fantastic. I have such fond memories. I'm thinking about the content I could do, because right now what we're doing is not one, not two, but three playthrough of the tower, which is my favorite game. Three different game, by the way. So if I have a fourth phone in like a year, I could do these easily. In like the winter, it would be perfect. In the winter, it would be perfect. And just to film that, it would be so nice. It would be so freaking nice. So yeah, somebody, I lent it to someone, and they took away the stickers, which I'm fucking pissed off. Because otherwise it was a perfect Game Boy Color. And yeah, so then the soundtrack itself, the different sound for different city, which is the Goldenrod city, or the battles, or even the catching, that's Pokemon Center. You know, it was just a which was catching Pokemon. See the song in there, the soundtrack. It's not the song that was in there. There was just the soundtrack, the sounds, very nice. And then lastly we have the. You know what? I'm gonna give a special mention to one game, and that one game I'm gonna give a special mention to is Borderland, because Borderland is just the craziness, just the it hurts, it burns, just the sheer craziness of it. It brings you to the universe. I think Borderland NPCs, although they have so little to do, welcome to meet the Thunderdome, you know, to me means a lot. But if I had to give one last game, and of course this is the last game I'm going to talk about for the original soundtrack, I had to go with Kingdom Hearts. The theme song, I guess. Now, technically speaking, I do prefer myself I do prefer Sanctuary. Hold me, whatever, nothing I say, hold me, and the future is all. Regardless the warning, the future doesn't scare me at all. Whoa, nothing's like people hold me, whatever, nothing I say, hold me, and the future is all. Regardless the warnings, the future doesn't scare me at all. We won't, nothing like before. Or then my Sanctuary, or like simple and clean night, all that I in hold me. No, that's the same song. See, my sanctuary now, with fears and lies melts away. Hey, hey, music will die. It was just so great, because first of all, you use what's her name, Itadu, something like that. You use the same singer for 1 and 2. I didn't fucking like the Skrillex song. I didn't like it. I'm sorry. I didn't like it at all. So that was a problem. What else? Just have a sound. Dun, 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 da, 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 dun. See? It was just great. It was just fucking great. I miss those years. If I had to go with it one more, like more recent. I'm gonna go inside because they're getting mad at me.